One of your old teams, the Dolphins, the whole offense feels like it's full speed ahead. And now that Tua is obviously healthy, do you think that this team could win the AFC East, or you think it's too early for that?
They're so dangerous.
I know you've been on quite a few teams over the years, so I'm curious what kind of advice you have for quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield, Teddy Bridgewater, who have really tried to find their footing in one place. What would be your advice to them?
Yeah, I think Baker's a great example of that, where he now has switched teams a bunch of times, and it seems like a year-to-year proposition. And that gets hard. It gets hard, not just the football aspect, but the personal aspect. You know, with his wife, for me, it was like the wife and the kids and moving every year. And you have to dive into it, embrace it, and not think about it as hey, I'm here on a 1-year deal, but boy, what an opportunity I have right now. Let's dive into this community. Let's dive into this football team and take advantage. And I think a lot of people were happy yesterday to see Baker pull out the win and Tampa, get a win over Minnesota. I'm definitely a guy that's rooting for him.
One of your old teams, the Dolphins, the whole offense feels like it's full speed ahead. And now that Tua is obviously healthy, do you think that this team could win the AFC East, or you think it's too early for that?
Yeah, I mean, the AFC East is going to be so competitive because, even looking at the Patriots, the way they fell down early to Philly, but were able to come back. I think Bill O'Brien is going to make a huge difference for Mac Jones in that offense. They're going to be much better this year. And then obviously the Jets and the Bills, everybody's talking about them. But Tua, what a great fit for him in terms of the tools he has around him and the weapons. Such a great job of throwing in anticipation, throwing it accurately, and to give a catch and run ball to Tyreek or to give a catch and run ball to Waddle. They've got great team speed, and you saw it against the Chargers. They're so dangerous. They're so dangerous the whole game. They even had 2 turnovers in the red zone. Otherwise, that score is even higher. But throwing for 450 or whatever he did in the opening game is pretty impressive.
It seems like he's getting a little sassier too. I like the attitude Tua has brought. Have you noticed that too? How he's starting to finally not clip back, but he's like, yo, you can't be talking like this. I think
part of that, part of that is just being more comfortable. He's obviously no longer a rookie, but just being more comfortable in who he is. He's married. He's got a kid. Like there's different things as you grow and mature as a human being that I think just make you more comfortable in general. And you've definitely seen that with him. And hopefully, with his play, he just continues to shut up all these doubters because that was a good start on Sunday.
I'd love to give your thoughts on Jordan Love. I know it's not, I don't know, but I can only imagine it's not easy stepping up as a QB1 in Green Bay. Do you think he's had these sparks that make you think that maybe he could be a Favre or Rodgers someday?
Yeah, I had this great setup on Sunday where for those first games, I'm watching all 8, and you're trying to figure out and watch and peek and to come in a debut it's on the heels of the Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers. Can this guy be the next guy? What an amazing, storied franchise that he gets to take over, an amazing history of quarterback play in the last 30 years. So to come in against Chicago and throw 3 touchdowns and kind of say, look, this is my team. I thought that was a really important game for him and for Coach LaFleur too, because it's not easy. It's a lot easier calling plays for an Aaron Rodgers because he can fix a lot of things, but they're off to a great start. And I'm really excited to see what he does this year because when he throws the ball, it does look effortless. And that's a good trait for a quarterback to have.
Straight up, of all your former teams, which one do you think has the best shot at winning a Super Bowl this year, Ryan?
Oh, I'm just trying to remember all 9 of the teams I played for right now. I'm always in the Bills corner. But it's like the AFC East. One of those three teams would be awesome.
Yeah. And
then, the dark horse right now, who thought that those LA Rams were going to knock off Seattle? Who thought that? That was crazy, but it was great just to get a reminder of what healthy Matt Stafford looks like. Matthew was slinging that ball all over the yard, which was cool, but I don't have them as a Super Bowl prediction. Just a quick shout out for
dark
them.
horse. Okay. Well, again, we appreciate your time. I want to end on a quick game. We'll call it the panic button game. So I want to ask you about a team or a player, and you tell me if it's too soon for their fans to panic We'll do it very rapid fire style. So just your gut answer, quick explanation why. All right, Chicago Bears. It feels like this year Fields has to make it, and it still doesn't seem like that offense is able to totally put it together yet. Are we panicking?
People had a lot higher expectations than I did going into this year about Chicago, but they're going to be better than last year. You got to remember they weren't a great football team last year, so they will be better, but they're not ready to make the playoffs yet.
New York Giants. Daniel Jones got that new contract, but he's still looking a little. That was rough. Are we panicking if we're New York Giants fans?
Yeah, the Giants won, I believe, 8 of their wins last year were within a touchdown. And so they played well in a lot of those close games. That was scary to see on Sunday night. And my panic meter, I'm not hitting the button yet, but my arm is in a downward motion, getting ready to hit it. Yes.
All right, Ravens. Yeah, they beat the Texans, but they also lost J.K. Dobbins for the season. And Lamar looks a little rusty. Are we panicking?
No panic whatsoever there. They've got a new offensive coordinator. He's got a bunch of new weapons. Zay Flowers, oh my goodness, looks pretty incredible. They're going to have some growing pains, but they've got a great defense, and they've got Lamar. So it's not going to be perfect, but they're going to keep winning games as they figure it out.
Pittsburgh Steelers. They looked a little lost against the Niners. Are we panicking?
They did. I think they were overhyped from what happened in the preseason. Every year we make a mistake on saying, gosh, preseason performance, this is going to translate. But they are very talented on offense. I think that was a little bit of a fluke game. They got it going in that 2-minute drill at the end of the first half. But I'm not panicked on Pittsburgh. I think they're going to be a good team this year.
Cincinnati. Will we see the same Joe Burrow Bengals fans know and love soon?
Yeah, I think we will. If you remember back to last year, I think he threw 4 picks, had 5 turnovers against the Steelers in the first week. He's going to be just fine. Weather played a factor there. It was great to see Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to be better than people think this year, but Cincinnati's going to be just fine with the weapons that he has on the outside and Joe Mixon to hand the ball off to.
All right, last one, and most important one, I think. Kansas City, specifically their weapons. Are we panicking? Because we know Mahomes can't really do it all by himself. And if Kelsey, doesn't get back on the field soon, how are we feeling?
Yeah, it was amazing because that was the story last year, right? Was okay, Tyreek's gone. Yeah. They don't have the weapons, and somehow they win the Super Bowl still. I am a little bit panicked for Kansas City, though. There's some vulnerability there, and I think when other teams look at them, not as the champions, but as the guys that lost to the Lions in Week 1, they don't seem as bulletproof as they have been in years past.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.